Welcome to another stream and some more updates of some of the work done in the past week, and a lot of that focused on uh, kind of adding a little bit more options for navigating their environment, and you know, it can be an adventure game if there's no swimming, and that's what I ended up working on, and it was a little bit of a uh, hit and miss kind of process, just trying to figure out quite a few things that go into swimming because um, it would have been pretty simple in the beginning if I just had it at just the ability to swim across the surface of the water, but I also wanted to make it so that you can dive, and um, so yeah, that's what I ended up with. So here's a little bit of you probably already seen it, but yeah, kind of just a regular slow um, slow swim, then just kind of um, the threading the water, I guess it's what it's called, and of course diving, and then the faster swimming, and actually the water is not deep enough over here, but um, yeah, you can so this would you'd be able to swim a little faster. And of course then dive if you look down. And when you're on the surface, you have to look down below a certain angle to be able to dive. So like if I look here, I'm not diving, but if I start going a little bit further down, then like this, then I'm gonna be able to dive. So, and I guess the enemy kind of saw me at this point. So yeah, that was some good fun with this, and yeah, just giving a little bit more of an ability to the player. What I wanted to do during this stream is work a little bit more on this kind of little village, kind of shack area here, and link it to the road or link it to what's a little bit of a main road here, and I guess the water body got a little too big. I'm just gonna move this off a little bit here. Hopefully that I probably could just make it a little smaller. Hopefully it's not going into any of the other areas, but at least for the time being, this is the scale of it. And so yeah, a little bit more of the struggle was to get the water line. So like when you enter the water, you get this thing going, and then when you're below water, you get that little bit more immersiveness. And so if you're interested in that, there's a package from Marvel Master, I believe, or Unreal Marvel, which he actually provides um, a project that has the material inside in it, so you can follow the tutorial as well. But it's I think it's UE Marvel or something like that. I think I couldn't remember, but um, I can share real quick if you're interested. Um, at least so where I got this from, and I hope that was gonna be a little bit easier to find, but um, maybe not so much. Oh, there we go. So So it's this thing here by Marvel Master. Yeah, I think I had it right the first time. So if you're interested in how that line is and how the material is done, this is the tutorial that I followed and used the project that he shares, which is awesome because a lot of people, not a lot of people share their projects. So um, yeah, and it's free. All right. Well, let's get to it. One thing that I wanted to change, and I was playing around with some of the lighting for the nighttime, which is kind of there. I think it looks pretty good at night, and uh, but what I wanted to change, because this one also I've made some modification and it affected a little bit the other times of the day lighting. So that's I need to get that back. This was just experimenting a little bit um, on making the night, kind of setting up the night lighting, and it actually performs. I'm pretty happy how it performs. I think I was getting constant over 60 frames per second. So yeah, that's, and this is with the editor running, and so let's switch this to daytime, and maybe make some of the adjustments that I previously had for the lighting during the day. Alright, so let's see, where do I want to start? Alright, so in my sky template here, let me see, I can't really see what's going on, so I'm gonna duplicate my skylight and have this one as maybe daytime. Or rename it to be nighttime. Oh, hey, Aniseti. Well, so it's not a survival game. It's like it's an adventure action type of game. There's um, no survival elements. I think that market is very full, so I wasn't gonna add to it. Um, yeah, it's a story-based action adventure game. Oh, thank you for asking, and welcome. Alright, let's see how we can change this up. Yeah, so that I'm not sure if this is the first time they've joined the stream, and so it does have I do have quite a few of the your typical first-person shooter type of elements as far as like weapons and interactions, um, storyline or a scenario, a um, NPCs that you get to interact with, and you get some of your missions from. So yeah, it's but it's not a survival type game. If you think of survival as DayZ or some other games, yeah, no, this is a single player game. Okay, so let me take a look at fixing the daytime. Alright, let's see if this helps a little bit. I've set another skylight in my sky blueprint. So let's see if this helps at all. Well, that completely made it dark. Oh, and I had some issues with the post-process there for a little bit. Alright. Okay, that's better. It starts to look a little bit better. Alright, so night is still looking good. Let's see during the daylight. That looks kind of alright. It's a little dark in the forest. I don't really like that. So let's see if we can bump up the skylight. Alright, there we go. So that's getting a little bit better. Alright, perfect. That's better. To have that during the day. And what's cool about this material is that, of course, you know, it's being translucent, it gets affected by daytime, nighttime. So right now it's pretty dark. I actually haven't tried to see how it looks if you have like a flashlight, but that might be something interesting to check out. Alright. And the other thing that I wanted to do is I think it's all oversaturated. The colors might be a little bit too much, so I'm gonna try and address that a little bit. Yeah, so that quite this is like the midtones section. be a little bit too desaturated. I think that works out a little bit better. Alright, so that's better. The one thing that's the difference between the day and night is, and it's really important, is the exponential fog. So what I want to have at night is one that does not have um, volumetric volumetric fog. So that's what I'm going to try and add here. So let's see, during the night, so I also want the night skylight. Alright, so daytime looks pretty good. Nighttime, the skylight is pretty dark. Let's see what's happening. That's interesting. What I can't seem to figure out what's happening with um, this night skylight. Alright, so I've created a copy of the exponential height fog, and I'm not sure why that doesn't so basically the way this works, it's a little bit of a I would call it spaghettini, but yeah, so there's a switch, and if it's daytime, I'm setting the material on the sky, on the not the skylight but the skybox, and enabling the skylight, the directional light, and the exponential height fog for the daytime, and then sunset, overcast, and nighttime, morning. This was originally from I think a Desert gas station package, and I ended up just tweaking it a little bit to make it so that you can make changes at runtime. So yeah, it got a little big. So basically, if you the plan was, if you go to and I think it still is, if you go to sleep, if you use a bed, right, to recover, and it would advance time, right? There's other games that do that as well. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing to do. I'll see if I end up going and still using that. There's quite a few other things to consider when it comes to interior lighting and this and such. But yeah, the one thing I can't figure out is everything else works. The skylight, toggling visibility. So not entirely sure why that is. Let's see. It also has the recapture sky section here. Let me try that out. So daylight works as expected from the settings, but then once you switch to night, it does not seem to so nighttime, daylight. Yeah, all the nodes run just fine, but nothing else seems to. Not sure why. Even on checking certain things, they don't appear properly. But I'll try to dig into that a little bit later. At least during the day, it seems to be looking. It looks to my liking, anyways. Okay. So yeah, let's get back to the original plan, and that was to create another road and link between the main road here and this little shack village that's going to be in this area here. And for that, I'm going to be using Spline. Hey, SHGR7. Oh, welcome. Hello. Alright, so let's control click and place this one. And I think it's, again, you can keep it with control click and just move things along, and just kind of set it to somewhere about here. I would think that should be plenty. And what's nice, that it already sculpts the terrain, or it will eventually. So let's try and align this as best as I can. Gonna try and hide the vegetation for now. Yeah, so this is my game, indeed. I mean, I guess you can call it a combination, right? There's also the process of learning, but there's also the process of making something. So if you can combine the two, to me, that's awesome. So I've always wanted to. I've always liked video games, and I've always wanted to make one. Yeah. So thank you, appreciate it. So let's see. Um, oh, and actually, it's something that I wanted to share with you, something that I discovered while working with this spline is um, there's times that it might look, especially when you place a mesh over the terrain, that the mesh is just sitting like it did sculpt the terrain, but the terrain is still coming through the mesh, especially if you have like a flat mesh like this. And yeah, this is something that this is another thing that I need to look at with post-process volume for the water, is that it kind of, apparently if you're like below that clip plane, it just starts kicking in. So that I need to change that so that the post process is active only when you enter the water. So that's just a simple fix. And now that I'm thinking of it, let's see if yeah, I'll have to look into that. And for now, what I'll do, just so that it doesn't look so weird, is let me select the body of water. So right now, the way this works, the material is being applied to the post process based on the water level. So the water level for this particular one is at this height. You know, there could be lakes that are on a different plane that could be a different water level. But again, it's a matter of not showing this unless you're in the water, and you know, so the post process does not um, you know, um, behaves. So let's take a look. Where did I have that? Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, the thing that happens is on construction, let's see if I set these to 0, will this help? There we go. So basically what happens is, if you check out the tutorial that I shared for the water line, what I did is I've set it so that I'm adding these to the post-process material array, the three materials that you'll find in the video, and then I'm just adding them to the array by, you know, using this make weighted blendable node, because that's what it needs. So you just provide it with the material, and that's it. So that's one way to add some of these post-process materials, and this is on construction script, but you can add it at runtime as well. So for now, I'm just going to set them to 0, and when you enter the water, I'm going to update these to be 1. So basically, um, in my post-process materials array, I believe I can iterate over that and then just set the weight to 1 for all of them. So sorry, SHGR, I wanted to show you a little bit of the game. So the game is a first-person action adventure type game, and the way it starts is you enter the game. A lot of games use this through a plane crash sequence, and from there on, you need to you'll be contacted by some of the NPCs, you know, the friendly NPCs in the game, and you're gonna start to receive missions, and the goal of it is to, you know, working through these missions to find out what happened in this location, and what's going on, why are these people hiding, and yeah, help them out. And yes, there's only blueprints. There's no C++ involved. There's the C++ that might come with some of the plugins that I use, but no, I haven't done any custom C++. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that people would enjoy it. So that's the goal. But anyway, so I wanted to kind of bring you back to what I started earlier with the splines and the fact that sometimes some of these areas won't be like the ground would come through it. So the what I've discovered is that you can adjust these spline points, and the way that I did that. Let me see. I couldn't remember. There was like a little bit of an offset for this particular one. I can't remember if it wasn't that, but what you can do is you can offset these little points. So if the terrain is coming through one of these, even if you think you sculpt it, um, it's um, it's a way to set it so it's above the terrain. And let me see if I can figure out, because I wanted to share that with you because I found it really useful. I had some I ran into this. Oh, there we go. So it's the mesh vertical offset. So if you bring this down, not sure why that one. Why did this one not work? I believe this was the setting, so you'd be able to literally. Oh, maybe that's why. Yeah. So for example, sometimes it might happen that and now I guess it's sculpting it properly. But yeah, let's take a look and see. See, this is what happens if you do the mesh vertical offset. You can um, place your that control point above the terrain. So. Hey, Angry Rebel, and welcome. Yeah, it's um, uh, yeah, I've talked to people a lot about this, at times, and it's one of those things, since I can't really commit to working with somebody else, and because the problem is that my schedule is sometimes all over the place, and like the what people call like the adulting. You have to adult. That's what I run into, and um, it's very hard for me to commit. And because at the end of the day, you're also wasting somebody else's time, and that's something I don't want to do. Hey, Tape Loops, welcome. And so that's why I've said that I'll work on my own, on your own. And so it's because it's tough, like especially uh, and myself included. If I was to work with somebody and like try to get somebody involved, I would not expect them to do work for free, and and I totally get it. That's the indie world, especially with somebody that uh, people that are just starting out. But um, I also can't commit to somebody else just because at the same time I can't promise them anything, and that's hard, because those people might have some deadlines, or they're like um, they have a different plan, and it's tough. So all right, let's place a road onto this one so we get a little bit of a visual cue. And mud road, I think this was something that I used prior. Might not be the right one. Bummer. Yeah, that's definitely not the right one. Where is my other road that I used before? Static mesh. And for whatever reason, this one's scale is pretty terrible. Yeah, of course, of course. Let me try and get this in first, and I'll actually show you a little bit of how the weapons are working, and the bow, and how you're getting your um, your tasks, your missions, of course. This is something. There's like a little oddity happening here. Oh, what? This is, and again, this is one of the things that sometimes is frustrating. There's like control points and there's segments. So I did the stupid thing of setting a mesh for the control points, and that's always. It's actually for the segments that you want to set up a spline mesh. So in here, let's place a road. So there it goes. That's it. So like I was saying, there's areas like this that they didn't get properly sculpted by the spline, and sometimes you might need to sculpt the terrain, um, which is something that you might end up doing. Of course, it does pretty well for the most part. Like through here, everything looks like it's a proper terrain, or like proper sculpt of the terrain. Let's see if you bring down one of these points. There he goes. It does pretty good for the most part. But again, like sections like here, this one, not so much. It does sculpt it, but there's still like a little hump here that looks a little bad. In tape loops, I'm actually running into a similar issue. I previously had a different layout for the terrain, and it felt a little too linear. It was still somewhat open world, but it was a little bit limiting on how far you can travel. So I felt that was a little too claustrophobic, so to speak, and that's why I decided to use this bigger terrain, and it's got a little bit more variety as well. So, and again, you can always limit it with some big cliff pieces, and I intend on using those quite a bit because it's still pretty big terrain. So I also want to guide the player a little bit. I don't want them to just uh, you know I guess there's definitely players that just go all the way into one direction, but you want to limit them to some extent. It's not that kind of game. But yeah, it's definitely tough. It's definitely tough. There's people that only do that. um, oh, Angry Rebel. That's actually kind of cool. And I might say this and I might upset people, but like Dead Space 3, I know that some people are, I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with Dead Space or the franchise, but everybody really liked Dead Space 1 and 2, but for whatever reason, Dead Space 3 got a lot of flack, got a lot of kind of, negativity, but I really enjoyed that one. I kind of liked that, the Arctic environment. So, yeah, all for that. Alright, let's see. I wanted to find the mud road that I had a while back, and hopefully I can find it again, but where could it be? Maybe I'm just using the wrong texture. Let's take a look. If I overwrite material and mud road, muddy road, could this be? Let's see. Almost. I guess it could work. Yeah, Yeah, so this is the material itself. The only thing is it does not have an albedo. So let's see, I want to rotate this like that. Okay, so it looks like a road, there's just no edging to it. Oh, so Angry Rebel, is yours a multiplayer? So I'm actually kind of liking this material, to be honest with you. Hey, Manga Rookie. Hello, hello, and welcome. Um, yeah, I'm kind of digging this muddy ground material here. The only thing is, I am trying to figure out. Let's take a look at this guy here. Um, and come on, I want the segments. There's that, but I want to select this one as well. Why won't it allow me to select these guys? Huh, that's some weird thing. Haven't really seen that before. When you're trying to select the segments, is just you know, having a little bit of a fit. Well, I'll access it this way, just to see exactly what I'm getting here. So I'm gonna use the same Master Road AA for this guy. So what I'm hoping that this one is gonna have its own little alpha. Oh, but the only problem with that is that alpha, I bet you, is in here. Yeah, okay. So in that case, I'm just gonna change this to be a master. And I think I can go with an RMA because that's what it's using. Well, yeah, so that's the thing, you know, I definitely like that as a kind of a side road, and I think it works pretty well. The only thing is that so actually I'm gonna do a custom alpha. Perfect, and I have the alpha channel already set up. So let me set this up real quick. 0, 2 might be this one, and then the alpha channel is in the alpha. Okay, so there it is, and then I just need to find that mud thing again. Hopefully I can find it because I couldn't remember where that was. But luckily, actually maybe it doesn't work so well. Alright, so there's that, and the custom alpha is in here. Oops, I actually want it to be here. There's that, and then the normal, and then the roughness is gonna be here. There we go. Maybe make it a little rougher. Alright, let's take a look and see what mess is this gonna create. And I've actually called this road 2. So yeah, that actually looks quite a bit better with um, with the edges like that. I like that. Alright, well let's fix it up a little bit and get the vegetation back in place, do some sculpting, and I want to jump into game mode and show SHGR a little bit of how this is going. Alright, so I'm gonna flatten this out a little bit just so that it's not like going over mountains like that. I wish there'd be a way to kind of flatten this. I'm not sure if there might be one, but I don't know. So I ended up tweaking the original developer's material because it was way too taxing when you were doing literally anything, and so I ended up removing all the grass maps. Alright, so that's a little better. So yeah, the other thing that I might end up doing is also trying to get our runtime virtual textures working for this, because just to get a little bit of a smoother blending between the road and the terrain. So yeah, okay, let's sculpt this out a little bit. So hopefully hopefully I'll be able to get rid of some of this this hump here, just like that. Oops, and now that I just noticed that I might have messed up my other road. The the issues sometimes with streaming, talking, and trying to do stuff. This is kind of a side effect of that. And the problem that I'm running into, and I can't seem to figure out, is why selecting this particular spline will not allow me to. So there we go, that's better. I think there might have been another control point there that got somewhat messed up. So oh, nice, story based. I like that. Those are my games, and that's why this one is also story based. That's the type of games that I play. So alright, so let me fix this. Let me fix this this road. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so now that's the road, but then I want to fix this one because it looks like it's a freaking 5-lane highway going through the forest. So let's make this one a little bit well, not so wide. Let's start with 0.2. Actually, that was the scale going forward that way. So I think that's too tight. 0.5. 0.5. Actually, I think this one could do as a 1. So that one looks quite a bit better. Let's kind of use a scale for it to see where we're at as far as dimensions. Still a little big, but I think that might do. For whatever reason, this is so bright. Why is that? Oh, I just made it worse. Huh, that was something weird that was going on. I couldn't figure out why, but yeah. So let me clean out some of this vegetation here. Along this road. So yeah, I have the road in place. I might look and see if there's like I said, if there's a good way to blend it with the terrain, and see how that would look. But now there's like a way that that the main room connects to this little village here. And of course there's a little bit of fixing on the terrain. We'll do that in a little bit. But yeah, let me SHGR if you're still around. I'll show you real quick what kind of a little bit of gameplay here, and also kind of weapons. Oops, what the heck? That is kind of horrible. Is that due to the some reflection captures? That looks kind of bad. Let's see if we get the same result during the nighttime. It's a little bit better. But anyways, so let's go. This is something recently that I've implemented this week, is the swimming part. And you know, swimming along with diving. And unfortunately the material is turned off because I did turn it off in that in the blueprint. I've set that weight blending to 0, so I just need to set it back to 1 once you're in the water. But anyways, so let's take a look. So yeah, we're swimming. So for example, that's one of the enemies, and there's like a couple of items that I've implemented. One is a bow, so you know you can shoot the bow. The other one is like the rifle, so you can shoot the. I can't remember if I have the projectile implemented with the rifle, but let's see. Oh, and yeah, this is the other thing. So now that he saw me, the little red outline around the screen is the fact that you're taking damage, or you took damage. So it's the thing is, I can't remember if I. Oh, actually, no. I think this one doesn't really work properly for the rifle, because it like hits you instead of the enemy. So let's take a look. There's the pistol as well. And I need to make these menus a little bit more intuitive. And there you go. So kind of hit him in the arm. And of course there's the bow, which to me this is the most fun of everything. And let's see, can I hit him? Yeah, there you go. So down he goes. And there he is, just laying there. Whoa. Yeah, so there's still physics, so it's just ragdolling right now. There's still physics applied to him. And oh, I forgot, this is actually kind of an interactive thing, so I can like turn it off or turn it off or on. It was a craftable item when I was thinking of I might do some crafting things, but it just didn't make sense towards the end of it, so I just left it as a just going to be like a campfire to fill in the world. And let's take a look at how that road looks, at least at night. Oh yeah, that actually looks pretty good at night. Definitely blends in a little bit better than during the day. So yeah, so there you go. That's I'm not sure. I guess you lost. Oh, I forgot that I needed to reload. So with the bow, it's the way I have it set up is you just use your right mouse button to pull on the bow, and then left to fire, and then if you keep holding the right mouse button, it just auto reloads until there's, right now there's 12, 11. So that's your little counter. I was trying to make it so that there's minimal UI for the game, and taking damage and getting an idea of damage is this red outline. Then the weapons, especially the bow, was pretty easy to have this little counter. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it for the kind of the bullet type weapons with rifle and the pistol. The other thing that I'm currently working on is the binoculars, and they're I'm still having a little bit of trouble with them, but so kind of the binoculars are right there. I have most of it already implemented, as far as kind of having the zoom in, adding the post-process effect so that it looks like you go looking through binoculars, and I can show you how that looks. It's actually, I kind of like that one. And let me try and switch to day. Hopefully it's not going to get too messed up. I need to revisit these, especially during game mode. But let's see, where is my main character? Here. And post-process, and then materials. Alright, so gas mask. Let me open one of these because I need to find. So I run these off of collections. So basically, I have a collection that sets the strength of whatever post-process material. See, this is what I don't get. I'm gonna have to figure what that's all about. I think it's just trying to regenerate the something connected to the skylight. So when it comes to, let's see where that is. Where was that? I'm trying to figure out where which one of the values that had the I can't see anything. Oh, there you go. So this is kind of the effect when you wake up, and I actually had that turned on, so that's why I wasn't. So basically, after you fall, this is kind of just like the eye blinking. So, and I'm probably going to use that as well as a kind of the death sequence once you die. And let's see if I can find where where was that one? That's for the damage, but where was the binoculars? Did I remove it? Oh, I must have removed it from here. So let me try and add that in as well. So binoculars. Alright, let's take a look and see if this one is active in here. Yeah, so there we go. So this is how the binoculars will look, of course, with a zoomed in. So basically, and I hate this. I'm gonna figure this out this afternoon. But let's see. I think nighttime was still kind of holding up a little bit. Yeah, so basically at nighttime you'd be able to, or like, you know, not necessarily at nighttime, but when you use the binoculars, this is how it's gonna look. And what I want to do, let me see if I can figure this out, is in my main. Can I change this at runtime? I don't think I can. And that's also in the camera manager. So I wanted to show you how the zoom in would look as far as being zoomed in. It would basically just change the field of view, so you'd be able to see a lot farther with the binoculars. But yeah, this is how the binoculars look. And at the moment, there's only when you actually hold them in your hands, it looks pretty. You know, that's kind of like this, right? So only when you equip it. So basically, when you press your right mouse button, it's when this particular post process is gonna be applied. So basically, all the items that you equipped are weapons, because they all share the same interface, and they can you can when you do the right click and you go into ADS mode, for example, for the binocular this is ADS mode. For the rifle, yeah, it's going to be your little your regular standard ADS, and so forth. The torch itself, like I have a torch, and that's let me turn this off. So for the torch, let me see. I think I still have that working. So the torch, when you whoa, what is happening? This is new. I can fly? No way. Yeah, I guess there's some physics that are kludgy with this. And there's like 2 torches that got created. Whoa. Hey, how about that? I implemented flying without even knowing. It's one of those things, when your code works, it works. But anyways, so SHGR, if you're still around, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the just a little bit of the basics. There's also the one thing that I didn't show, and hopefully you might find it interesting, is the way you get the your missions is through here. So basically this is how you get your missions, and when you again, this is a weapon. If you equip it to ADS, that's when the compass shows up, and you get a little bit more of an idea of where you're heading. So there you go. Alright, let's, yeah, there's definitely something going on, I think, when I go into to begin play for this particular blueprint. So I guess I'm just gonna do the switch between them for now, and not go into game mode just right away. Alright, so let's place a little bit more props in here, you know, this being like a little bit of a village. I'm gonna put in some cars and just to add to it a little bit. And let me make sure that I have the proper level selected here. And let's look for, I know I have some cars here and there. There'll be a static mesh that I'm looking for. And let's just place some of these. If you're interested, these are Some very nice looking vehicles. They're by Userena Fox. It's RENAFOX on Sketchfab. So there's some really good looking kind of disused type of vehicles. A little bit old, not not classic vehicles in any stretch of the imagination, but something to fill your scenes with. Like this one might be kind of an abandoned type vehicle. The same thing with this one, and I might just paint a little bit of grass or some other random things around it. The only thing is, originally this was not done with since the developer for the Nordic conifer biome has all the grass maps. There were no foliage types added in here for the grasses, so I'm just gonna paint a little bit of um, some ferns for now, just as placeholders, and I'll fill those in. And let's see, I want to change this to be from a minimum of 0.8 to maybe a 1.5, just to give more scaling in for these ferns. Just like that. And let's also paint the terrain so that there's a little bit more of this kind of path ground happening around here. Ah, come on, old timer. Alright, finally. Let's try these mud leaves. I can't remember what these are. It's sort of decent, I guess. I'll definitely let's add some decals around here just to but now looking at this road, it does look a little big. It's still kind of so I like these segments and make them all, I think it was this one. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Alright, so might not be the best terrain or like road texture. Definitely will definitely benefit having a like a runtime virtual texture going with this. The only thing is this was not part of the original thing here, so I might have to do that myself. But that should be fine. At least everything is in place for now. It's nice to have like the tire tracks in the mud. They kind of they do become quite a bit repetitive, so that's one of the things I'm not really fond of. And in all honesty, the this concrete type of road did blend in quite a lot better with the area. So I might have to see if I can find something better to replace this. But let's finish sculpting the terrain right around here, and to get that in place. So I'm gonna hide the vegetation for now. I'm gonna delete these and the wires if I can select them. Can leave that in place for now and delete this one. Alright, let's flatten some terrain. Oh, and that's odd. It would not allow me to flatten it here because of the spline, which is kind of interesting. So I guess the spline take precedence over my sculpting. So I'm gonna try and kind of move these a little further. Maybe like so. You can see like all this kind of these green lines is how far it stretches out, and I was hoping there is a way to set how wide this thing is as far as sculpting. I'm not sure if that's, I wonder if that's possible. Yeah, so I guess you can do it like this. The only thing is, if we do the segments, can we make that a little bit bigger width-wise? Ah, there we go. I guess you can extend it that way, so that's good. And make that so it doesn't look as tiling anymore. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. There we go. So now we can hopefully do the sculpting a little bit better when it comes to flattening this area. Just like that. Nice. I need to uncover the cars that got a little bit buried. There we go. Smooth this out a little bit. And I need one of these cliffs to kind of make this a little bit of an edge. Just be like a kind of a parking area. Let's see which one of these might fit a little bit better. I think this one might just do it. And right there. Yeah, there we go. I think that fits in pretty well. Just try and move this off a little bit, and I'm going to try and smooth this out some more. There we go. I think that works pretty good. I think I might have overdone it, but I can just use another one of these. Like that. There it is. Cool. I like that. Alright, I'm gonna need to fix a little bit of this area where this fence is, just because it's a little bit buried. It was originally a little bit lower than where the house is. So let's do that. I'm gonna try and use a ramp and see. See how that's gonna work. Somewhat okay. Didn't do a whole lot of what I was hoping it would. So I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Find the depth level here, and then flatten. And I think I might extend this dirt road into like a path that can go right around here. So let's see how that might look. So I'm gonna add a new spline. This is really big, so let's make it 200 maybe. Oops, not just that one, but all the segments or control points. Oh yeah, so I guess then the fall off is gonna be, I'm gonna make that a little smaller as well. There it is. Okay. So yeah, I guess you got a combination between the half width, which would be more likely like the mesh itself, and then the side fall off, which is in this case this little dotted line. Alright, so now let's continue on with this. Just make like a little bit of a path. Going through here and down in here. Just like that. I think that works. Just try and make it so that it's a little bit more of a reasonable angle. Alright, that looks a little bit better. I'm gonna try and delete some of these points. They're a little bit too many. There we go. Yeah, these plans are really awesome. Alright, that's great. So I believe I'm gonna try and see if I can use a let's try and move this off a little bit like that. There we go. I think that's pretty decent. Let's try and place these electrical poles in a more of a, I can see it being there type of location. Alright, so let's try and reset the wires on some of these guys. There we go. Yeah, I guess I kind of rotated them around a little awfully, so now it's they're like the wires were flipped. but that fixes it, I think. And I'm gonna remove this guy here because it's not on a transformer. There we go. I'm actually quite happy with that. Alright. Alright, so now let's add some of the vegetation back in place and clean this up just so that we do have a road. You know, going through here. And of course some of these that can't really stay on a or really need a flat plane to be on. And we'll also paint this area with gravel equivalent. It's not really gravel, but it is I guess called path. So I guess it's a good combination of names. Some of the textures I'm not the biggest fan of, but those can be changed anyways. Let's make this a little bit bigger. The blending indeed is really nicely done, so they blend between them very good. Yeah, so this is what's awesome about, you know, the game development. This entire week I didn't do any of this. I was mostly focused on like um, the you know, implementing swimming and fixing that, and then the materials. And so now being able to do some of this over the weekend, it's a lot of fun as well. So, you know, kind of combining everything with the game development. This is where it's at, you know. That's why I love it so much. Actually, this whole shack seemed to have been on a little bit of a higher level than I expect, or there I thought. I mean, the back of it at least is where it's supposed to, but the front, why isn't the front acting or where it's supposed to be? So let's try and fix that front area, and I think that might be the yeah, there it goes. That moved up a little bit, but not as much as I was hoping. So I'll fix this up, and I think that's gonna be it for today's stream. And I'll definitely try and fix the issues with the lighting and see why that's going, what's happening there. And hopefully by tomorrow it's gonna be a little more to share, and you know, we can work some more on this area, get it probably, you know, hopefully finished off, and yeah, I'm gonna try maybe later on tonight to get the binoculars working, and besides fixing the issue with the lighting, but get the binoculars working, which should be pretty fun, and show those off tomorrow as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by, and I hope to see you. I hope to see you on the next stream. And y'all have a great rest of your Saturday, or if it's already Sunday. And we'll see you. We'll see you on the next stream. Thanks again for stopping by, everybody. Take care.